Yo, another day, another studio session. All right, we're gonna try something new, and I set up a scene that is screen cap as well. So let's check this out. Let's make sure this is working. Yeah, that's how we do that. All right, so what are we looking at? We are looking at an Ableton session. Here's a track here called Cadillac. I did some track analysis and yeah, trying to piece this together and make these tools useful. This channel down here, this group channel on Ableton, is the drum channel I use in my production. And I'm trying to take all these MIDI slices that I did, that I took to analyze this track as it is, and take these MIDI loops and store them in my library because they can be useful later. So let's start it like this. Let's listen to the track so you can hear it. And then we'll dive into the actual work. Let me restart this Launchpad too. Meadow 5, what's up, homie? So as you can see, I've got MIDI channels throughout the track where I've taken clips to recreate what's happening. All right, right here in the original track, the tempo changes from 100 BPM to 106, so I just kind of left it alone from that point forward. But that is the track. That is the original track, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the pieces. DJ Circumstance, what's good, what's good? I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking. How are you? I am actually trying to do some work to build up some library tools from my Ableton library. So you guys can sit down and watch. If you got questions, feel free to ask them. Let's dive into this because I got some other stuff scheduled for the day. But let's get down to business. All right, so as you can hear, that track's got a lot of natural swing in it. So KD1, kick drum 1, and then there's a second kick drum, so that's what these tracks are down here, just so you have an idea how I'm abbreviating things. But on bar 9, where the drums come in, see how we got this little gap? Whoa, switch up. We got this gap in between where the note starts. So 0.75 milliseconds. You can see it down here at the bottom of the screen. And we have to compensate for that. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to use this keyboard shortcuts as much as I can because it helps me get done things faster. I'm going to select this whole thing, Command J, and when we press Z twice, you zoom in all the way. All right, so now we're looking at the MIDI view, and because this clip starts exactly where the 9 bar starts, we see how the note shifted. So watch this. I'm going to zoom out, minus key. I'm going to select everything on this row. And then we are going to add 1/8 note. Now, I drag this 8th note before the 1 because now when I click on that note, I can select everything on that key. So now that I copied that, and let's come down here, zoom out, and I'm going to go all the way down to my drum channel. So main drums, this is where I actually have my samples. So let's click on track enable and watch this. These are the drum sounds that I have in the main drums track. And you can see it down here on the bottom screen because we got the whole MIDI thing coming up on screen. I love this 2-camera setup. So here's what we got to do. We have a MIDI loop copied in the clipboard. Let's make another one down here. I had to bring this down. It's getting annoying. All right, so Command Shift M creates a MIDI clip. Now I'm going to come over here onto this new MIDI clip, and I'm going to paste the notes from the previous clip that we were working off of, the one I just created. And now, when I zoom in, that first 8th note that I had in the clipboard shows up on the 1. We want to drag that the way we had it previously. So I'm pressing the back arrow, and now everything lines up perfectly. We keep that swing, and when I put this clip into another project, everything keeps the same timing, and there's nothing thrown off by the grid. We're not going to hear it because this play flag, this playhead flag right here is where it actually starts. So watch this. When I press play, all the timing gets retained. So if you got questions, I'm going to be doing a lot of that along the way. Feel free to throw them in the chat. Let's see how quickly I can get through this. I'm going to see if I can do a couple different tracks today. Command Shift M, oops, nope, Command J to consolidate. So this is snare drum 1, doing the same thing. Add a notes. Let's add that 8th note back over before the 1, select all in the clipboard, rinse and repeat. This fold thing, anybody who doesn't know, when you press fold, it only shows the notes that have something on them. So when I pasted everything, it's from C3 because that's just the way I did it when I was setting this all up. But let's see what we got now. Snare drum should be lined up perfectly. We have copied the groove. All right, cool. Let's keep going. We got a cymbal splash to start off the section. Cymbal splash. In fact, I'm going to come over here and make this chat window bigger so I can see y'all's comments and everything. Wednesday's my studio day, so whether I'm live or not, I'm always on here doing it like this. And happy to help anybody who doesn't know how to Ableton well. All right, hats and shakers, ear catching percussion. Let's put this crash on the ear catching percussion track. Nah, let's do it on the hats and shakers then, just to hold the place. And that's exactly on the one. So I'm just gonna put it on open hat for now. Close enough. At least I can work with that for now. All right, hi-hat one. Oops. Select all this. Command J to consolidate. Come down here. Let's add a note to keep our timing. Oops, and I want the grid to be 1/8 note. Go before the one, drop it in there, keep our timing. Copy. Back down here to main drums. Actually, for this one, it is on hats and shakers. Paste. So let's mute the main track. Yep, got it good so far. So now we have this second hi-hat. Actually, I think I might have got that wrong. I hear an open hat. Let's do the open hat next. Yeah, I think when I did the closed hat notes, I might have done it wrong a little bit. But this open hat I know is in the right place. So I'm going to do this real quick just to hold the spot. Paste, drag it over, down, 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 down. I think the problem here is... Actually, I don't know what the problem is. Everything's pasted from C3 because that's the default note for a lot of instruments, but not every instrument. So for some reason, I got to do this fold unfold thing each time. If anybody knows how to fix that, then let me know. But I'll work with that when I got some more time. Interesting. Why do I not hear that open hat? Choke groups. Shakers on group 3. These should be on the same group, I guess. But for now, let's just put this on group 2. No, let's fix it. Do the work once. That's the whole point of this. All right, 0 key to mute something in Ableton. So I'm gonna click on the notes to overlap the open hats, 0 it, and they go away. Yeah, this is the way it's supposed to sound. this is where hi-hat 2 is actually coming in. This is not right. I don't know why I put that there. All right, hi-hat 2, let's do that one. Command J, let's zoom in, switch to this side, add our note to keep our timing, keep the swing in there. You know what, let's try this now. Let's bring these down to C2. Let's see if that helps us out with this annoying pasting. Nope, don't help. So we have a second hi-hat. Let's make a second hi-hat. I'm going to duplicate that channel over here. And in fact, this is a kind of confusing mapping that I put together for this. So this is a Max for Live instrument called counter, and I need to change the steps to 1. But I've macroed the rack row, which actually is going to control which hi-hat sound we have. And this is something I can get into a little bit later, called 128s, that I learned from the man Il Gates. So let's do hat close 1 and hat close 2. And now we got hat, close hat, select 1. Close hat, select 2. All right, so now let's listen to this. Now, if you're just listening, why am I not soloed? There we go. Here. So if we're just listening to the sound of this closed hi-hat, if I turn this knob, it changes the sound. And I've got 128 in each of these hi-hat positions. So let's unmute. Let's go back through it until we find something that sounds like the original combination, or at least just gives us an inspiring starting point. Turn this track down, our reference track. And let's erase this since that part's wrong. In fact, should be at the 9 is where this should be kicked in. So let's zoom in and make sure we got the whole thing selected all the way. Boom, duplicate. And now that should start at the 9 on beat. Yeah. All right, so let's start it from 9. Or 17, rather. Let's start a little early so we can hear the difference. I heard one I liked. This one. There we go, because the combination of those I think sounds a lot more like the original. Good enough for me. All right. We got the open hat, we got kick drum one, we got snare drum one, we got the cymbal splash with the placeholder. So let's do that cymbal splash to start off the phrase. Close to, it was the one here for shaker, which is not a shaker. There we go. All right, let's add some new sounds. I like crashes up here. So let's find some 128s. 128 crash. Boom. 128 crash cymbals. Same rules apply. But we got to select the right track. A little too loud. All right, well, this is how we work with the 128. It's a good time to talk about this for anybody else who doesn't know. This is one of the most useful things you can do to speed up your workflow. So we got a sampler right here, and all you have to ultimately do is take 128 of a certain type of sound, put it into the sampler. You drag the samples from your library up here to this top section, and then when you are filled with 128 or more, select all of them, right-click, hit Distribute Ranges Equally by Key. If you do Distribute Ranges Equally on the selector, that allows you to play them do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Melodically, if you do it by key, you're choosing which sound. So then you can use this little square right here next to every single play on a drum rack and choose what sound plays. So let's find something similar to the original. Something brighter. Close enough. All right, so now the volume's crazy loud. Here's another trick, another tip, another thing I like to do. All right, crashes and cymbals. So I made these clippers. I talked about this in a previous stream, and it is literally a audio effect that I grouped together. Put control of the gain from the utility plugin, from the limiter on this first knob, and then there's a second utility after that. And you do a little bit of math, so we can do plus or minus 6 with the second one that we can't see. But you turn down the gain until this yellow limiter stops being triggered. And then I know our ceiling is 24, minus 24 decibels. So as soon as it's just barely touching that, I know I'm at minus 24. If I need an extra 6 to come off of that, I can turn down my second knob until we get to 6. My mouse is too insensitive. About there's good. So it's barely touching this 0 right there. So let's take that MIDI note, put it on our crash. Ooh, that's too long. That means that this is looped. We don't want that to loop. Let's look at this. Yeah, I don't want to loop. I also want this to start right at the beginning of the sample. There we go. I'll make this a little tighter. All right, that's that whole section. Why waste time? So let's call this these MIDI clips Cadillac Drums A. A1, just Cadillac Drums A. Copy, rename, Cadillac Hats and Shakers. A, and ear catching percussion we didn't actually use yet. Cool. So let's throw this in the boneyard. I don't want to copy these samples. I just want to save the MIDI. Don't copy the samples. There we go. Let's get the B section stuff. Ooh, did I forget something? Think we're good. I got the overheads. I got the ride cymbal I didn't do. Ha, there we go. All right. One more again. Ride cymbal. Zoom, zoom. Put our eighth notes. Oh, already did that one. Where is it on here? I just never put it in place. All right. Oh, I put our ride cymbal in the place where there's the closed hat. Yeah. There's a ride cymbal, but it's not right there. All right, so the hi-hats continue right there. So let's grab them hi-hats and duplicate that section. Lost my timing, so let's do it the right way. There we go. All right. Let's just loop this all the way through. Let's match this swing. Where's my open hat? That's crazy quiet. Oh, it's the choke again. All right, now we got it. All right, now we got our B section stuff. Rinse and repeat. How long we been live? How long we been working? 35 minutes in, not that bad. Back into it. Skills to pay the bills. Oops. And let's do this one more time just to see if I'm crazy. Copy it to C1. Oops, I'm on the wrong track completely. Delete. We want to be over here. Which drum did I have the first section? There we go. Command J. The repetitive nature of the tasks at hand. All right, hi-hat 3. A lot of hi-hats going on in this track. I'm gonna duplicate this clip down here just to get rid of all the extra timing issues. Nope, doesn't do me any good. Oh well. So now we need another closed hat. All right, let's duplicate one more time. Close hats 3. We got to duplicate the counter situation again. That's good enough. All right, zoom, zoom, hide, and what's next? That was hi-hat 2. That was hi-hat 3. Kick drum 2 and hi-hat 3 for that section. Kick drum. That's all we got for this area. And then the ride cymbal, which I was using as the open hat. I'm going to select this whole thing because I know what's coming next. All right, we got it. Ride symbol, hat shakers. I really should put a ride channel on this, but as long as the MIDI's there, I can get to it easy. Folds, unfolds. Damn it. I'm gonna change that open hat. Oh, it got unmapped somehow. Offsets. All right, well, we'll do it this way. Close enough. All right. Oops. Going too fast. Here we go. All right, so this breakdown right here. The ride keeps going. Shut up. So I think we're back to hi-hat 1. Let's just put this up here. That sounds better. Midnight PM. What's up, homie? How are you? This is Ableton 9.11, actually. The latest version. I remember this part. So these two sections are almost identical. So I can't just duplicate the first go round. But it is all good. You don't need to be on the latest version of things as long as it works for you, man. That is all that matters. All right, there we go. So kick drum 2 for this section. Got that copied. Let's come down here. I think the kick drum's the same. The snare drum is what changes, but just to be sure, I'm going to make a new drum group right there. Paste our MIDI to keep our timing. And let's drag it in. We were using kick 2. Lined up right? Yep. All right. Let's get the snare drum. Snare drum 1. Command J to consolidate. Let's throw a MIDI note down here at the beginning of the loop. Preserve our timing. Boom. Select, copy, come down here, paste it, and we good. DJ Great Dane, what's good, sir? What's good, sir? How you feeling, homie? Baltimore is in the stream today. Yeah, we're all at home working. I feel that. How's young Niecy doing? I'm not going to put her name out there because, you know, the internet is weird sometimes, but how's she doing? Obviously, getting a day off of being at the restaurant. I actually had to go downtown. My wife was working 1 day a week in the office and every other day remotely, but she is actually doing 2 days a week now. And so I had to go downtown and actually mail off a package to UPS. So I rode down with her because we got one car, and I walked from where we parked, where she parks normally, to the UPS store downtown in Baltimore. And it was like, I want to say like 8 blocks or so. The first 4, I was walking with her. She got to her office and dipped out, of course. And then the last 4 blocks, I felt like I was going to die. It is crazy out there. But I dropped off the package, got an, the Uber's scooter situation, the spins. I got one of those spin scooters, rode that up to the circulator, and then I was good and got to be in the AC on the way back home. Otherwise, it is brutal. It is brutal out there. In fact, when I came down here into the studio, this is the basement of my house. Like, everything you guys see in here is green screen and all is in the house. Crazy. I was sweating inside with the AC on full blast. It doesn't even make sense. But I'm trying not to complain too much about the weather because it's going to get worse. It's just going to keep being like this until we do something about global warming that's actually productive and a solution, not just a Band-Aid. So get ready for it, man. This is the new normal as far as I'm concerned. Hanging out with the dolls if it was illegal. That's funny, Dane. This is the hottest summer of my life this far. So far. My meme game is not strong. I am not ashamed to admit that. I'll usually be like the last or very close to the last person to catch the memes as they're floating around. I know some people that are definitely first on all that stuff because they collect them, like trading cards or whatever. Nah, fam. I'm late to all those parties. I'm over here doing all my stuff. All right, where we at? Hi-hat 3. And that ride cymbal. I think I am actually going to have to make a channel for this ride cymbal. So rather than be lazy, I should probably do that now. All right, zooming out. You had to put on sunscreen? Oh, man, the melanin can only do but so much, man. Black don't crack, but I don't want to get a sunburn. I've had one sunburn in my life, and I don't need to do that again. I was like 7, and I spent too much time at the beach with the fam. And then when I got home that night, I was like, Mom, why is my skin peeling? And she had to explain to me that was a thing. And that was the moment I truly understood white pain. Now I'm playing. All right. Ride cymbal, hats and shakers, and cymbals now. We got that crash channel. Let's add one more for a ride. Yeah, man, we can burn too. I've only done it once, but I don't want to do it again. All right, zoom, zoom. All right, so we got this crash channel. I want to make a ride cymbal. Let's put that over here. Actually, what am I doing? 128 ride. Oh, I don't have a 128 full of rides. Look at me. Let's duplicate the crash. It's not going to sound the same, but actually, I have enough of these. I can run with this. All right, 128 time. I've talked about it. Let's see it. We can burn to swing down, sweet chariot, and let me ride. Yeah, get your G-Funk on. All right, let's do this way. We're going to switch over to the session view. The confusing one. Everybody's afraid of this view in Ableton. I don't fully understand why. I personally love it. But I'm going to show you on the fly how to make a 128. So Command T, I'm going to add a track. This track right here, it gives us our number of scenes. So take a look over here. You can see my mouse. We've got a number counter next to the master. I'm going to drag in some samples on this track, number 20, and let's count until we have 128 ride cymbals in this track. Doesn't matter if we duplicate, but I'm going to try my best to not duplicate too much. In fact, let's do this the right way. Get out of here. This is how this was showed to me the first time. Down to the 707. I'm making my life harder now. To the tippity top. All right, one more time. This is how many samples? 83. We skip these two because those are groups. Can't use those. And let's get to the next group. Add some more. How many we got now? 120 something? More than 128. Great. Now, the beauty of doing it this way for making your 128s is you don't have to guess. All I got to do is delete these guys. No math, no extra thinking. There it is. So since I searched for a ride to get those, some of those will be rides. Some of those are probably going to be a little bit different, but enough to at least have some options and maybe get some happy accidents out of this. So let us create a new sampler. Command-Shift-T to make a MIDI track. Throw a sampler on that MIDI track. Now we're going to drop all these joints into the zone section. Oops, that was 1. We want 128. Get out of here. And this is the most efficient way to audition things in your library. So you don't have to waste time deciding which of these sounds the best for what you're trying to do. All right, so all of these are selected. Right-click, distribute ranges equally. And now we have a 128 of ride cymbals. So anytime I hit a note, different rides each time. Let me ride. Delete this guy. We don't need you. Probability ride. Let's change the name of the instrument. I gotta talk to you, but not right now. I'm gonna text you back. In fact, hold on a second. Y'all don't go nowhere. All right. Y'all can't be seeing all my personal stuff. All right, here we go. Back to our 128s. I'm going to rename this. My naming scheme is underscore, so it shows up at the top of the list. SJ means I made it. 128, so I know what it is. Ride. Symbol. Done. And then user library. Let's throw this in the right place. 128s, etc. Boom. Done. I do now want to copy the samples. No, I don't, because these are already files from user library and factory packs. Yeah, if they're from somewhere else, then I want to copy them. Funny text messages. All right, cool. That's saved. 128. Life is good. Let's go back and get back to work. So, also going to save this way, just in case. Don't copy this time, because we already did it. Yeah. All right, hats and shakers. Now we want to put this there, and we have a 128 that will always work for that cell. I think there's a couple things I might have forgotten about on here, like the volume is crazy low, the voices I want to be 1. I want the release. Why is this only playing? Am I on the right track? Yes, I am. Oh, because I'm listening to the wrong track. Yeah, there we go. Now the volume is crazy low on this one. So let's bring that up. Oh, it's just the 1. That's funny. All right, here's how you find a specific sample. That's why. So you go up here and do the follow along or the follow arrow, and you can see everything you got going on here. Let's turn off this filter stuff too. Anything that's going to make the processor eat shit, I don't need. Sample volume. Just this one. Where we at? Done this a million times. There it is. Ooh. Forget that. Use the loudest one. Now that I see what's going on in this sample. All right, so this is kind of the whole philosophy around everything that I do. Let's save this one more time just because I made a change. You want to do the work in advance, so when it's time to write music, everything is already done for you. Because when it's actually time to have a completely original idea, you can throw these clips that I'm making right here into it, edit things, reverse things, chop things up, resample things, and you can get the creative process moving a lot faster than if you're trying to do your sound design and making your tools while you're trying to write. You have to separate everything you can, otherwise you're really just asking to not get anything done. So let's get rid of all this extra madness that we don't need. So that crashes thing is supposed to be our rides, right? Yeah. And now we need our dB crash. Same idea. Throw that onto this individual cell. Dial in our volumes. That's good enough. All right, let's listen to that in comparison to the original. Yeah, we got it. All right, what else is there to do? I think this is everything. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm happy with it. All right, so you know what? Rather than split this up into pieces, here's what I'm going to do. Because I know what song this came from, I am going to rename all this stuff. Breakdown 1. Oops. Oops. Drop 1. Breakdown 2. And a 3. Cadillac drums. A 1. Copy. A3. And that should be A1 and A2, but I'm going to leave it. And then drop 1. That's all I need for that one. And the last one, ear catching percussion, we're not using. So that was a lot of work to get to this point, but here's what we got. Now, this process is done. Swing low, sweet cherry, let me ride. Save live set as templates. Step 1, watch me work. See all these templates? This is all work that I've done in advance. Do I want to override it? Yes, I do. Bet. So, here's the cool part. Open up an existing track, and these are all of the samples and tracks and everything in this session. So, I can always pull this up later. But now, I'm making my life even easier. We are going to turn each of these into one big-ass MIDI clip. All right. Export MIDI clip. Where is my... There is my... Boneyard. Where's the Boneyard? Where's the Boneyard? Hold up. Why can't I find anything right now? Oh, here we go. Nope. Let the computers do the work. Oh, that's why. Forget where I put things all the time. All right, that's one. Let's bring it back over here. I had to make sure there's nothing here that I wanted to keep away from the internet. So here we go. That's saving our MIDI clips. And the work is done. Now I'm not going to save this with the whole thing consolidated into one region. But now, let's go over to a new project. Don't need to save that now. So that drum channel, everything from that drum channel, I'm going to have now set in addition to a bunch of other instruments in this template. This is a template based off of a beat that I made recently. And that way, put together the ideas that you had earlier or any analyzing of tracks that you've done in the past, with samples ready to go, effects ready to go, all that stuff, all the routing is done. And now, if I want to throw together an idea, let's delete everything in here. In fact, now let's keep the... Nah, I don't need to keep none of this. Main drums. I'm going to change the drum track because I do know that's different from that Cadillac arrangement. Drum channels, main drums. And this is one of the my favorite things about Ableton. That track and this track are different because the sounds and the order of the sounds and samples is slightly different. And we need to change out the... Actually, let's just change this whole drum channels section. Throw that whole thing in there, that whole group. Because our Cadillac Ride cymbal 128 and those duplicated hi-hats, those are all going to be in here now too. Oh, and why don't you look at how convenient that is? Everything that I just programmed showed up. So our volumes are going to be a little bit different. We got to change this to sends only. Now this session is a lot more CPU intensive, if you can't tell already. Let me check my notes because this has to go to a specific spot. The computer, go. Pre-master, that's what I thought. All right. So just because of the way I saved this one, the tempo is 176. So in order to make all this work, we're going to have to take this stuff. We're going to change the tempo and move things around just a little bit. But watch this. Now I can do this on any MIDI track or audio track in Ableton. The BPM is calculated off of what it was created at. Now we've duplicated it. So the track was originally set as 100 BPM. Now I've doubled the length of it, so it thinks it's 200 BPM. 200 BPM down to 176 makes it work in this template. Same thing here. Everything gets longer, everything fits. So there is everything we just did in my writing templates. Yeah, Fruity Loops does something similar, but I stopped using Fruity Loops once they went to the name FL Studio. And I've been in Ableton world ever since. All right, so the arrangement of that beat doesn't quite work for what I wanted to do today, but let's split up the sections and make it a little bit more useful. The way I have these drum racks set, there is this, let's go to the hi-hats, this ill offset from the homie Ill Gates, and that allows me to do some offset messing with on the timing of things. So I'm actually going to drag this over. We're going to use the ill offset preset or setting to make everything sound more good. Actually, I'm doing this the hard way. Watch this. Everything selected except for you. We can't do everything but. All right. Let's do it like this. Zoom, zoom. You, Soldier Boy, tell him. I'll line all this up right there. So now everything's on the grid there. And we can mess with the grid using the offset instead of MIDI notes that are offset. This is the last one that's not done right. Yeah. Nope. Close hat 3. Now let's get this main drums, do the same thing. Because I like the swing. Same behavior, double BPM, or might still do. Yeah, probably still does it. A lot of the FL Studio techniques and features are actually part of just about every DAW out there. It's just a matter of what your favorite instruments to work with are, your favorite user interface, all that stuff. I like FL Studio. It's just been my entire life to be in Ableton for so long. I'm not going back. And in the big grand scheme of things, just about every DAW is pretty similar these days. Anything you can do in one, you can definitely do in the others. Zoom, zoom. Oh, I just broke something. There we go. There. So now what I'm doing is putting everything back on the grid. So if I turn on our metronome, should be a little bit tighter. Oops. Let's take off the triplet. So still swung, but not as much as it would have been otherwise. So let's do it manually. Why can't I not hear that? This should be playing. Oh, that's funny. Drum channel. That's what we want. All right, let's try with the metronome one more time. Bet it. All right, let's get rid of all this extra stuff we don't need to see, and let's put our own swing on it. Oh, that's why. No offset. Let's raise up some offset. Offset. Woo! Let's throw some Dilla on it. Get that Dilla swang. All right, so where are we at? We have 33 and 40. Let's bring this down a little bit, but not make it the exact same. I want it to sound like a person played this. These markers don't mean anything in this track. In fact, let's come up here. All right. That sounds a little too sloppy, so let's fix this section right here. Something's still off. What we got? That looks like it's fine. Get out of here. In fact, let's make these different colors. It's because these didn't get quantized. Oh, CPU's about to take a shit. And that is why I get all the pieces together in a different session. Because we can do all the writing and arranging here, but I don't want to just keep running it hot like this the whole time. Da-da-da. This is another weird stutter. Where's that last triplet? Back here. The timing on this one was better. And I just realized what time it is. I have a meeting in an hour. And I got to take my dog out in less than that. Oops. Oh, what did I just delete? The whole instrument. All right, we might have to call this right here because my dog gets fed at 5. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to call this right here. All right, I'm going to be back on later on. I got to, take care of life stuff, but hopefully you learned something. More beats because Studio Wednesday, because it's the day that I designate to only doing studio stuff. So if you got questions, hit me up in the Discord. You can type !Discord in the chat if you're not on there already. I'm out of here. I'll be back later. Peace, peace, peace.